And we're joined now by Mubin Shaikh, who is the author of Undercover Jihadi. He had an encounter with the Taliban and became a supporter of Islamic extremism. He now works with U.S. intelligence, and he speaks to us from Washington, D.C. Mubin, welcome to Arise America. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's been reported by a number of witnesses to this horrific event that these two alleged gunmen who went into Charlie Hebdo said, "We are with al-Qaeda in Yemen." And that raises the question of then who is al-Qaeda in Yemen? They call themselves, I believe, AQAP, al-Qaeda of the Arabian Peninsula. Tell us about this branch of terrorists.
Yeah, al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula is centered out of Yemen. The most notorious individual is Anwar al-Awlaqi. He was an American, became radicalized, established the Inspire magazine series, which endorsed attacking cartoonists and endorsed committing such attacks without requiring permission. They said, in the issue number 13, attack the cartoonists, don't ask us for permission.
And in this case, it would appear that there are some extremists have taken them up on this. Can you give us an idea of the level of activity of the extremists in Yemen and their influence with other extremists around the world?
Yeah, there's of course been a rift between al-Qaeda and the group ISIS, which was in fact originally al-Qaeda in Iraq. And of course what we're seeing now is a power play between, or this is a manifestation, one manifestation of the power play between al-Qaeda and ISIS, each one trying to outdo the other. For some time, ISIS has enjoyed a lot of popularity because of their growth, their very quick growth. And this is a chance for al-Qaeda to kind of reassert its jihadi credentials, especially in the jihadist community.
What is it that the United States can learn, Mubin, about this attack in Paris?
Well, you know, when you have professional individuals or semi-professionals who have the capability and who have the wherewithal, they will conduct these attacks. And one thing that I think the West needs to learn is to be vigilant and to be resilient.
There have been recent attacks by Islamic extremists in Canada, in Australia, of course, this one in Paris. Are extremists finding it easier to attack other countries outside of the United States as opposed to attacks within the U.S.?
Within the U.S., it's much more difficult. First of all, you have a much larger population in Europe. Europe is also landlocked, so the ability to travel back and forth and across the continent is far easier. You can literally drive to Syria if you wanted. You can go right to Turkey. So far more accessibility in Europe.
I understand you have experience with jihadists, spent some time in that world. I'm just curious what led you out of the world. You now provide security intelligence for the safety of the U.S. And so as you're telling us that, tell us about how difficult it is for the intelligence communities around the world, Western ones particularly, to keep up with and decode the information to try to prevent these attacks.
Well, I say I was bit by the jihadi bug in 1995 when I had a chance encounter with the Taliban. I began then to support the global jihadist culture, and that included the Taliban, Chechen groups, Kashmiri groups. In 1998, Osama bin Laden came up with this fatwa against America. So I was on board with all of that until the 9/11 attacks. It was really the scene of two planes hitting buildings and innocent people being killed that made me reevaluate my commitment to the cause. I then left and moved to Syria. I lived there for 2 years. Spent time with an Islamic scholar who taught me that these interpretations are deviant interpretations, and that the Prophet, peace be upon him, has cursed these individuals who behave like this and referred to them as dogs of hell, the worst creatures, and
Mubin,
kill them where you find them.
Let me jump in. I'm running out of time. Excuse me for interrupting you, but how difficult is it then to keep up with the communications of extremists and try to prevent these attacks?
Signals intelligence only goes so far. You need human intelligence. You need people on the ground conducting eyes and ears verification. So there are ongoing attempts. There is some level of infiltration of al-Qaeda, a severe level of infiltration of ISIS. So it's difficult, but it can be done, and it is being done.
Well, that's encouraging to hear you say that, Mubin Shaikh. Thank you so much for your insight. Appreciate it.